On September 13th, 1985, Shigeru Miyamoto and his team at Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. Unto the world and began teaching people a central and vitally important lesson: that failing is necessary, failing is how we learn, and failing can be fun.
から B ダッシュをちょっとずつ教えるようにで、そうか、それで初めて穴があるんですね。で、穴は飛び越すんですけど、こうなってると上の方でちょっと深い穴にで大体落ちるんですね。こうして落ちても大丈夫なように下が塞がる。こう自然に人のしそうなことをこうやりながらちょっとずつ教えていって、で何かというと、多分遊ぶ人は自分が何をしてるかが分かることが一番大事だと思うんですよ。だから最初のステージっていうのは自分が何をしてるのかが分かるようにして、その後は分かった人はもう遊んでくれるので自由に遊んでくれっていうふうにいつもゲームを作るようにしてます。だから一旦自分で考えて自分がこうしようということを考えるようになると、もうその人のものになるので、そうするともうそれを裏切るものとか期待するものをどんどん上から乗せていく。
The concept of creating an initial experience that teaches the player the rules, mechanics, and controls of the game, and then opens up later to give them more freedom, is a concept central to my research and my teaching pedagogy. I think higher education does a pretty good job of creating this opening level for students. As a lecturer in the Writing, Rhetoric, and Digital Studies department at UNC Charlotte, our curriculum certainly introduces students to the concepts of writing studies, rhetoric, genre, and all the rest of the sort of rules of the game. But through all this foundational scaffolding, there is a commonplace experience that we should shed some light on. A practice that is just as important, if not more so, than the cornerstone writing concepts that we pin so much of first-year writing pedagogy and curriculum on. This common space experience is universal and is something that we all share, yet it is something, especially in higher education, that is feared above all else. If we can think a little more deeply about our mistakes, about our mess-ups, about failing, then maybe we can start to see how important the act of failing becomes in first-year writing, an act that should be taught, practiced, and embraced. If only there was a vehicle that existed that could help us better understand and embrace failure. If only there was something out there so fun, so enticing, and so ubiquitously popular that 214 million people across the United States do it for at least 1 hour every single day. My ideas are very much based on the work and theories of James Paul Gee, who argues that, quote, good video games incorporate good learning principles supported by current research in cognitive science. That was back in 2003 and 2004. Well, why? If no one could learn these games, no one would buy them, and players will not accept easy, dumbed-down, or short games. This is the quote continuing. At a deeper level, however, challenge and learning are a part of what makes good video games motivating and entertaining. Humans actually enjoy learning, though sometimes in school you wouldn't know that. End quote.
Pleasantly frustrating principle. That is, learning for human beings is at its best when it is pleasantly frustrating. What does that mean? That means that a problem it leads to good learning when you feel a challenge. You feel that there's some accomplishment being had by solving it, but it's not, you know eventually if you put an effort you can do it. That the frustration is not stressing you because you're getting the pleasure of knowing you're going to get a solution. It's keeping the problem at the cutting edge of what some people have called your regime of competence. That is, within your regime of competence, you know you can do it, but at the edge of it, so it feels like a challenge and an accomplishment when you succeed. This is the type of problem that gives rise to a phenomena called flow, where people lose a sense of time because they're so involved with problem solving. And good games create this type of problem solving, and they create flow.
Moving through this concept, I would argue that this deeper level challenge does more than just motivate and entertain. It trains us to become okay with failure. Failure is the overlap between education and video games, or at least one of them. The commonplace where a shared universal experience becomes apparent in both realms. In a video game, failing is safe. It teaches us something. We learn to avoid that monster, jump over that pit, or dodge that boss's attack. The game itself gives us instant feedback as we play it, teaching us in real time how to get better each time we start over. However, a disconnect occurs when we transpose this experience into the classroom. Generally speaking, in school, failure is to be avoided at all costs. Study hard, do the work, get ready for the test, prepare for your one shot to get that A. Most of the time, we don't offer students places to mess up, to try again, and to fail. We teach them that to fail is to have achieved the worst possible outcome, when actually, this is the complete opposite of how it should be. Katie Larson McClarty offers us insights into this in her lit review of the collection Gaming and Education. Quote, "An attractive element of the gaming experience as a learning tool is that it provides opportunities for continued practice because negative consequences are not typically associated with failure. Rather, failure serves as an integral part of the learning experience." End quote. This encourages players to improve through repeated practice, either by advancing within a game or replaying parts of a game. Failure with limited consequence, agency, and choice are seen as critical elements of a true gaming experience. That said, in the context of education where a game might become a required activity tied to real consequences, there could be a diminution in these key elements that may lead students to be less inclined to practice and realize some of the benefits of gaming. End quote. Celeste, a recently released platforming adventure game, is one that comes to mind when we're talking about the idea of failure and why failure can teach us so much and why it's so important for us to embrace this concept instead of always running from it. This game, Celeste, is a game in which you are constantly being given in-the-moment feedback about what you are doing wrong and how you can adjust and correct your approach to better solve each and every puzzle.
This room did get a thing where after you get the strawberries, it starts blocking off the side paths. And that was because people, just every once in a while, like 1 in 10 testers would get really stuck on that puzzle of how to progress here. Mm-hmm. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the one where you have to like steer the block around and up. Every once in a while, someone would just get really stuck on that.
I don't think these blocks reset in this version.
Oh, they don't, yeah. That was actually pretty late, too.
I'm not selling any revolutionary or groundbreaking theory here about the future of education, nor am I even presenting something that is that new or uncommon. Many programs, curriculums, and institutions are working hard to, quote, gamify their instruction, to incorporate elements of level design, experience points, rewards, etc. into their courses. I am simply reminding us that as writing teachers specifically, this common experience of failure is one that we need to embrace, and often we do. We have ideas about revision and process all throughout first-year writing curriculum, and these are really important. Many of our students are avid gamers, and many are not, but video games, even those as simple as Super Mario Bros., remind us that we have all been in that place where we have failed, where we have messed up, where we have just gotten it wrong, and maybe we can start to think about ways we can help students embrace these failures instead of avoiding them. Lower the stakes on your assignments. Consider contract grading or aspirationally oriented scoring. Consider ways to reduce the impact of a mess-up. Offer endless revisions. Offer opportunities to try something again, to do it over and over and over until the student feels successful. Ah, Mario, that poor little plumber has been blown up, dropped down a pit, jumped on, flattened, and smashed so many times it's impossible to keep track. But he keeps trying. The players keep going. Games teach us to fail, and if failure is a universal human experience, then we ought to start getting good at it.
The map said Hammerhead was right there.
Literally next door.
Looks that way on a map of the world.
The world's a big old place,
Filled with wonders.
Tell that to my legs.
You guys even pushing?
Hard as I can.
every